Hello, and welcome to Come Play With Us, a spooky storytelling podcast. My name is Leela, and I'm joined by my evil twin,
Ruby. We're actually both the evil twin. We're both writers with non-writer day jobs. We believe in the power of great storytelling, so we've invited guests with the challenge of weaving a tale about real-life hauntings and paranormal activities with the sole purpose of scaring the shit out of us.
We'll rate them to see how they've done. Our ratings go a little something like this: scared shitless, some chills, and I think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Today is a special episode where Leela and I don't have a human guest with us. We actually have a couple of non-human, artificial, and potentially intelligent guests with us that we are talking about ChatGPT and Google Bard. We decided to see which one of these two AI interfaces could creep us out today. So we both entered in some prompts, tried to get them to, give us some scary stories, some true life scary stories. And this podcast is the result. So we're going to see if AI is capable of actually creeping out humans. So Leela used ChatGPT and I used Google Bard. Let's just see what happens. So Leela is going to read out the tale of a true haunting as told by ChatGPT. Leela also didn't go look at it too much because we both want to feel like ChatGPT is telling us both the story.
I haven't read it at all.
So Leela, do you want to go into some detail of how you kind of use ChatGPT to find the story? Because it's not, I don't think it's easy, but.
Well, you just put some commands in there, like you tell it how long it needs to be and what elements it needs to have. So it's like a chat box, and then whatever they send, you can say, that's great, but can you also add this, this, and this? And then it'll keep fine-tuning and sending what it has to you. So I haven't read it at all, but I have it ready to go. So I'll be basically reading it and hearing it for the first time. And we're both recording separately. So I have all my blinds down. I have 2 candles lit, and I have 3 cats somewhere in the apartment. And I keep thinking I see a shadow in the corner of my eye, but it's probably a cat.
Well, that's great because it's going to add to, just the scariness of, being alone. I'm also alone in my apartment. I have 1 lone candle lit, just sitting here on my coffee table. All the blinds are drawn. It's like very dark in here. The platform that we use to record this podcast, we're able to see each other. You can barely even see my face. I actually look like very ghostly right now. So it definitely set up a pretty creepy atmosphere here for us to hear what ChatGPT is going to try to do to scare us today.
I had pulled 2 ChatGPT stories. One is based on a true story, and one is one that AI just made up. So the one that's based on a true story is a subject that's already been covered on this podcast. It's the Bell Witch. So I'm not going to do that one.
Okay, so now we know that when you try and search in ChatGPT, you have to say basically, find me blah blah blah, except for
that's not been done on this.
That's not the Bell. That's not the Bell Witch.
Well, it's not the Bell Witch or Robert the Doll or
all the other ones we've already done.
All the other ones we've already done. So okay, All right, so let me jump right in. Okay. This is not me. I didn't write this. This is all AI. Okay. Here we go. I hope this is good. Okay. Tonight, we take you to a place where history, tragedy, and the supernatural converge in a haunting crescendo of fear. Buckle up, because this story will send shivers down your spine.
That's
AI.
wow.
It's trying so hard to sound human.
Yeah, and also it's like, okay, calm down. Like we don't know that yet. It's really.
I'm trying not to be robotic right now.
Let's
Okay.
try to like build up the hype before it even happens.
I know. Well, let's see. Imagine yourself in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, a quaint town known for its pivotal role in the American Civil War. But we're not talking about the famous battle this time. We're headed to a different battlefield, the eerie battleground of the Crenshaw House. Nestled on the outskirts of town, this 19th century house is steeped in history, but it's not the kind you read in textbooks. This history involves restless spirits, the lingering souls of soldiers who perished in that gruesome conflict. As you approach the house, a sense of unease grips you, like a silent warning from the other side. The Crenshaw family, who once called this house their home, had no idea what they were about to face when they moved in. It started subtly, a few odd noises here and there, objects mysteriously shifting places, but soon things escalated beyond anything they could comprehend. I'm kind of creeped out right now. Doors, heavy as they were, would slam shut with an almost violent intent. Furniture seemed to move of its own accord, as if the room itself was breathing. The air carried echoes of blood-curdling screams, like the anguished cries of those who had suffered unimaginable horrors.
Yeah, I'm getting creeped out now too.
It's worth, and I would say it's creepy also because like AI did this.
That's worse.
It's worth noting that it wasn't just the Crenshaw family who experienced these horrors. Anyone brave enough to enter the house felt the cold fingers of the supernatural. Visitors reported eerie shadows, strange orbs of light, and a sense of being watched, as if the very walls held secrets that demanded to be heard. The entity's favorite victim seemed to be Abigail, the Crenshaw's daughter. Night after night, she would wake up.
Sorry, but this is sounding so Bell Witch right now.
Well, it's AI.
Also, AI is really trying hard to be a writer, but yeah, go on.
Night after night, she would wake up paralyzed, unable to move or scream as invisible hands brushed against her skin. It was as if the spirits were trying to communicate, to pass on their anguish. And then there were the apparitions, ghostly figures clad in tattered uniforms, their eyes radiating an otherworldly pain. Abigail would see them, their hollow gazes haunting her even when she dared to close her eyes. Determined to understand and confront this malevolent force, the Crenshaw family turned to experts in the paranormal. They teamed up with historians specializing in the Civil War, digging deep into archives, and uncovering the identities of those who had fought and fallen on the very ground where the house stood. What they discovered was chilling. This land was soaked in blood, the site of intense fighting during the Civil War. It was as if the earth itself had absorbed the agony and despair of those who had met their end there. Armed with this knowledge, the family embarked on a mission to provide closure to the restless spirits. They held seances, conducted cleansing rituals, and tried to communicate with the soldiers' spirits, all in an attempt to offer solace. I don't know how to say that word. Gradually, the encounters subsided, but the spirits weren't ready to release their hold entirely. The family continued to experience occasional paranormal activity, a stark reminder that the scars of war run deep, even beyond the boundaries of life and death. Even now, visitors to the Crenshaw house report feeling a bone-chilling presence, hearing ghostly whispers, and catching fleeting glimpses of soldiers wandering the grounds. The house stands as a solemn reminder of the sacrifices made during the Civil War and the lingering impact of that horrific chapter on the spiritual realm. The tale of the Crenshaw house etches itself into Gettysburg's haunted history, a constant whisper from the past, a chilling reminder that the echoes of war can transcend time and space, leaving a haunting imprint on those who dare to explore its ghostly legacy. So, dear listeners, the next time you find yourself in Gettysburg, passing by that quiet house on the outskirts of town, remember the Crenshaw family, the soldiers who once fought nearby, and the inexplicable forces that linger there. The Crenshaw house isn't just a relic of the past. It's a portal to a realm where the horrors of war are still felt, where the spirits of the fallen soldiers continue their eternal battle, and where the line between this world and the next blurs into something truly unimaginably terrifying. The end. So, this AI generated, ChatGPT generated story is, I feel like, because it's obviously drawing from like
Bell Witch.
well, just a little bit, because well, a lot of hauntings for some reason happen a lot to young women, or like the oldest daughter. I don't know. It's just there's definitely a common theme, but it's clearly, a pastiche of different hauntings. But it's so vague. Gizmo just walked over meowing. Hi. It's just so vague. I wish it had real haunting imagery, like this man who with a gunshot in his leg who limps down the hallway.
They had some where they were like bloody and tattered, but
It's vague.
it's vague. And also, okay, we got the Abigail thing and we got the fact that um, they targeted her, but I think, obviously what ChatGPT was missing, was all the details, the footsteps, the creaking, and it was talking about it, but it wasn't, we weren't getting the sensory detail. And it just shows that, number one, ChatGPT is not a good writer, so writers can keep their jobs.
Yeah, it's not a good writer, and it's also it needs a lot of direction. So I mean, this was just a first pass, maybe several passes. If I would have kept going, I would have said, okay, can you describe the hauntings in more detail at Crenshaw House? Or can you think of more sensory ways to describe the ghosts, or what it felt like to be, like you have to, it's almost, it's the same amount of work I feel like it would take to write a rough draft.
A
Same
very rough
effort.
draft.
Same effort,
And I think,
because that's what you're essentially doing, is you're telling your brain, okay, this was a good paragraph, but can you add more sensory details,
um,
So
I would say the storytelling that ChatGPT attempted, um, where it kind of lacked is connecting with the human that's going to be reading or experiencing the storytelling. Because if AI knew how to connect with humans and connect with us, it would have tried, rather than telling us it's chilling, it would have tried to convince us it's chilling, or try to, like I said, use
right.
sensory detail. It
So
wasn't convincing. It was basically like, I'm telling you, this is very bone chilling. And when you walk by this fictional, I actually had to Google it. There's a Crenshaw house in Illinois, but there isn't one in
well,
Gettysburg.
it made it up. And I like the name. I
Right.
like the name Crenshaw House. Obviously, it like pulled from the.
There is a notorious Crenshaw house in Illinois. It's not haunted. It's just said that it was just known at it was just like
Yes,
basically a
the internet
plantation.
was like, let me plagiarize a little bit, right? Because that's
Yeah.
what it's doing. It's just pulling from, you know, things that already exist, and it's like gluing and pasting and doing a collage essentially of different things. But yeah, the whole, show versus tell thing in writing, where it's like, don't tell us they're sad, show us they're sad in their dialogue or in their behavior or in their body language. That definitely gets lost on that. So yeah, I don't feel like, as a writer, I don't feel threatened by it. I think you would have to really be a super user of Chat GPT and really have to finesse each of your commands for it to really write something passable. or good. Because either way, if I had asked for this prompt because I wanted to write a spooky story, I would have still had to have done work on this.
Yeah. It's hard because typically when we rate one of these, we rate it by kind of quietly like looking at each other, or we'll just hold up like a sign.
I mean, I already know what my rating is.
I think I know what my rating
Yeah.
is too.
Yeah.
So let's
You can go first.
Here's my rating. Some chills. Some chills because I was alone, but you know, and then when you mentioned the Civil War soldiers standing around her bed, Abigail's bed, I turned to kind of look at this like empty space in the apartment, and just instinctively. So you know, they were there, of course, and I'm alone, and it's dark in here.
Mine was.
What about you?
I think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
I mean, I got some chills, but only because I'm alone.
It kind of had me the first paragraph because it was really setting it up creepily, and I thought, okay, I'm in for a treat, but it just didn't really creep me out enough. It just wasn't detailed enough. It just wasn't atmospheric enough. And we're basically gonna have to, you kind of have to put in the work to get it to do this. And I'll keep playing with the commands and seeing if I can get it to be more creepy, but I don't think it did it for me.
I mean, it's hard because like I want to say I'll be able to sleep tonight because I will absolutely be able to sleep tonight. I don't know. Maybe I want to change my rating.
Okay, then change it right now. The same as mine.
I'm gonna just go ahead and change it. Here's my new rating. And this is because like I'm not gonna be scared at all. I guess maybe I look, here's the thing. We look for an opportunity to get scared. And for me, I got a little bit okay, but no, it wasn't that scary. I think I was, maybe I'm just I need to accept the AI is just meh.
I'm not totally alone anyway. Like Gizmo walked up to me and meowed. So like I know they're just walking around. So anyway, I'm not totally alone. But they would not protect me. If there was a ghost in here or an entity, they'll just walk up to it and meow for treats. So they're not my protectors. Okay, well now it's Ruby's turn, or it's Bard's turn. And you haven't read the story, so
I haven't, and I just basically just tried to save them without looking at them. And so when we talked about earlier with the Bell Witch and ChatGPT, I had to, my prompts were basically like, tell me a true life scary story that's not the Bell Witch, because I just kept pulling up the Bell Witch, and that must just exist.
Weird, because ChatGPT did that too. That's so annoying.
They just kept pulling it in. So then I had so many parameters. I have to go back and look at my searches, but I had to keep saying that's not this, but it's also this, and I just was asking for facts and length. And so I'm just going to choose the longest of the three. So I chose three. I just didn't want to look at them too much. And then I decided, okay, this one looks the longest. Let's just go for it. So let's see if, Google Bard is a bit more successful than ChatGPT. All right, Google Bard, take it away in my voice. All right, this is the story of the Myrtles Plantation. The Myrtles Plantation is a historic home in St. Francisville, Louisiana. The house was built in 1796 by General David Bradford, a wealthy planter. The Myrtles Plantation is said to be one of the most haunted houses in America. There have been many reports of paranormal activity in the house, including sightings of ghosts, orbs, and other unexplained phenomena. One of the most famous ghosts said to haunt the Myrtles Plantation is the ghost of a woman named Chloe. Chloe was a slave who was murdered on the plantation in the early 1800s. She is said to haunt the house in search of revenge. I just got chills.
Mm.
Also, revenge against whom? Like it that person's gone. I don't know, you know?
Well, yeah, but it's unfinished business, so
Okay, that makes sense.
the ghost doesn't know that.
Another famous ghost said to haunt the Myrtles Plantation.
Keep going. Gizmo's just meowing. Good.
Another famous ghost said to haunt the Myrtles Plantation is the ghost of a young boy named William Winter. William was the son of a former owner of the plantation, and he is said to have died in a fall from a window. He is said to haunt the house in search of his parents. All right, so two ghosts in search of something.
Mm-hmm. Gizmo says hi.
Hi, Gizmo. Also, he had to have found his parents at some point, like as a ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Again, it's unfinished business. I'm giving Bard the benefit of the doubt for no reason. Anyway,
Well,
keep going.
also, one of the things that I have learned about ghosts is, you know how like they end up being left as an impression. So
Yeah.
they're almost
Could be like the energy left behind.
well. Also, I've heard like if someone died a certain way, like a fall from a window, then people will witness the ghost continuously reliving that fall.
Yeah, I forgot. It's there's a specific term for it. It starts with an R, I think. But
Something, yeah.
yeah, but it's basically they're just reenacting their death
Yeah.
over and over again, and they're just trapped in
So
that.
this must be something where, yeah, it's unfinished business, but they need that. They sort of, that's the only purpose they have is to search for something that they may have been able to find a long time ago, which, by the way, I'm actually like 100% creeped out right now just by myself here talking about this.
I'm not, because Gizmo is now sitting next to me, really close, and I'm petting her, so she's protecting me. There's a movie that is like about this town where all these ghost impressions are left behind, and they're all reenacting their death. So it's like this old lady who's constantly crossing the street, or someone who's constantly doing something, and
Is
it's
it
moments before they
paranormal?
died. And then it's not paranormal. It's called, it's on Hulu. I forget the name of it, but I watched it a couple years ago. But this is a teen, and she sees what they live in this town, so they're able to see them. And then she witnesses one of them act out of its circuit, basically. And anyway, a mystery gets unraveled. So you should watch it. I'll find a name and I'll text it to you.
The Myrtles Plantation has been investigated by many paranormal investigators. Okay, it's been investigated by many paranormal investigators, and there is some evidence to suggest that the house is indeed haunted. For example, there have been photographs taken in the house that show orbs, which are often seen as a sign of paranormal activity. I'm going to quickly Google that. Oh, okay, I see some. More.
Hey, is this real? Is Myrtles real?
Yeah, this is a real story. This is a real story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see some orbs, but it looks like it's been picked up by camera. I don't know. It doesn't. They're like perfectly circular.
By dust effects.
Yeah, we'll include all of these in when we tell this. Okay. However, there is also some skepticism about the claims of paranormal activity at the Myrtles Plantation. Some people believe that the reports of ghosts are just stories and that there is no real evidence to support them. Whether or not the Myrtles Plantation is actually haunted is up for debate. However, there is no doubt that the house is a fascinating place, and it is certainly one of the most haunted places in America. Why are they doing? Why are they doing like both sides? I said to tell me a scary story, and then I also said that has facts. So they actually gave me a list of facts. So here's some of the facts about the Myrtles Plantation.
Wait, now I'm creeped out because Gizmo's doing that thing where she's looking down the hallway with clear intent, like she sees something.
Okay.
She's just staring intently down the hallway, and it's really
okay.
I hate when she does this.
Okay. So here are some facts about the Myrtles Plantation. The house was built in 1796 by General David Bradford. The house is said to be one of the most haunted houses in America. This is like, oh wait, this is basically just recapping what we just what I just read out to you.
Yeah, so let's just read it all out.
There have been many reports of paranormal activity in the house. The house has been investigated by paranormal investigators. There is some evidence to suggest that the house is indeed haunted. However, there is also some skepticism about the claims of paranormal activity at the Myrtles Plantation.
No, we don't want it both ways.
No, I don't know why they want us to have it.
Don't give us the option.
So what it did is the two ghosts, then it broke down their stories. So here's the story of Chloe.
Okay.
Chloe was a slave who was murdered on the Myrtles Plantation in the early 1800s. Sounds like murder plantation at this point. That's horrible. That was a dad joke. She is said to haunt the house in search of revenge. Chloe was a young woman who was brought to the Myrtles Plantation as a slave. She was a beautiful woman, and she was often the target of the advances of the white men on the plantation. One day, Chloe was raped by one of the white men on the plantation. She was so traumatized by the event that she became mentally ill. She began to have visions, and she would often talk to herself. The white men on the plantation were afraid of Chloe. They believed that she was possessed by the devil, and they wanted her to be killed. One night, Chloe was found dead in the attic of the plantation house. She had been strangled to death. The white men on the plantation claimed that Chloe had committed suicide. However, many people believe that she was murdered. Chloe's ghost is said to haunt the Myrtles Plantation. She is often seen in the attic of the house, and she is said to be a very angry ghost.
God, yeah.
And then here's a story of William Winter, the second ghost. William Winter was the son of a former owner of the Myrtles Plantation. He was a young boy who died in a fall from a window. He is said to haunt the house in search of his parents. William was a curious boy, and he loved to explore the plantation. One day, he was exploring the attic of the house when he fell out of a window. He died instantly. William's parents were devastated by his death. They never recovered from the loss of their son. William's ghost is said to haunt the Myrtles Plantation. He is often seen in the attic of the house. Wait, why are they both in the attic?
Oh my God.
Wait, hold on. He is often seen in the attic of the house, and he is said to be a very sad ghost. And they said, Chloe is often seen in the attic of the house, and she's said to be a very angry ghost. Okay.
Yeah, Bard's running out of ideas.
Yeah, Bard's just is, running out of steam here. He is said to be looking for his parents, and he is said to be trying to find peace. Aww. The story of Chloe.
This is two very tragic
Yeah,
stories.
it is really tragic. An accident, and then just just someone who was wronged in so many ways.
Multiple ways, yeah.
So the last paragraph here is the story of Chloe and William Winter are just two of the many ghost stories that are told about the Myrtles Plantation. The house is said to be one of the most haunted houses. This is the third time I'm saying that. The house is said to be one of the most haunted houses in America, and it is certainly...
I think it's malfunctioning.
And it is certainly a place that is full of mystery and intrigue. Did I say that earlier? No, I said it was a fascinating place. I think that Google Bard it's doing something different from ChatGPT, and it's like, look, I'm gonna be pretty plain spoken here. I'm gonna just lay my story out, but I'm gonna just use repetition to keep trying to convince you that it's the most haunted house in America, or one of the most haunted houses in America.
It just feels more like a reference tool, whereas I feel like ChatGPT was trying to, it said tonight's story is, so it's trying to, obviously with the commands I gave it's trying to have some flavor or some realism behind it. But I feel like with Bard, it was just like Wikipedia.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like Google for so long has always been so intuitive, but I actually feel like here ChatGPT was a little bit more, because it understood the assignment of like, I'm trying to scare you. But maybe that's on me that I didn't.
And it didn't scare, but like it was trying. And it probably could have if I went more granular with my commands.
Yeah, I mean, if I went and I just said, okay, try to scare me with a true ghost story that is not the Bell Witch, then maybe that has facts. And I think also that is also long, because it'll just be like a paragraph. So yeah, I mean, that'd be a great experiment for next time to see if maybe Google Bard and ChatGPT could do better. I don't know which one of them did better, because one of them gave us a true story and one of them didn't. but one of them was trying to be atmospheric and give us a
I
sense of
think
dread.
ChatGPT did slightly. Well, let's rate your story, and then we'll compare them.
It's hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. With both of these, I felt some chills because I'm alone, and but I think it's because I'm alone. But in general, like, I will be able to sleep tonight. Should we just have like? Should we just make up a new one for just where it's like in
No,
between those two, where it's like I got some chills, but I'm actually I'm gonna like create like a hybrid noise of those two.
no, you can't. We only have those are two separate ratings. I'll definitely be able to sleep tonight. I think if I were to compare, I think ChatGPT was a little bit better.
I would say, and I want to try this again. This definitely,
And I think that it's also you can mold it into the creation you want it to be. Again, it's work. It's work to have to keep telling it, can you do this better? Can you do that better?
yeah.
But and I do want to try again, and we should definitely challenge our respective AIs to do better and see what we come up with next.
Yeah, because and I think my main thing too is I almost want to use this experiment to prove, if AI is something that's going to replace a lot of the written word, or
Storytelling.
storytelling, or even like copywriting or novel or street, like, and right now so far they're not doing so great. But yeah, I want to challenge it, but I'm also like, I'm okay with if we never end up having any chills or get scared shitless, because look, we're all a little bit, curious, maybe potentially concerned about AI. So if they don't follow
It's not
through,
going to take my job. It's not going to take my job. So,
yeah, I don't know if it'll take mine, but we'll find out.
I mean, not right now.
I think
I don't
I
see it.
think for AI to be able to take some of these jobs, it's gonna have to be able to relate with people on an emotional level. And clearly, neither one of these times with Google Bard or ChatGPT were they able to connect with us on a human level, as in try to make us feel an emotion, right? And
Yeah.
they weren't. So anyone who's listening to this, I think your jobs are safe as well as ours. But let's try this again. We'll definitely get ChatGPT and Google Bard back as guests, and we'll see if they can scare us next time. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like to get in touch, you can reach us at podcomeplayWithUs@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from our listeners. So if you have real life ghost stories or paranormal encounters and you think it'll scare the shit out of us, please send them in. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.